Hip-hop culture originated with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, Africa Bambaataa, and DJ Kool Herc. Grandmaster Flash. What is a Grandmaster? A Grandmaster is the head of a military order of knighthood, the head of a lodge, the head of a fraternal order, or some other secret society. Now note the hand gestures in these two photos. The sign being given is known as the Devil's Claw, the Baphomet, or the El Diablo. It doesn't take much reasoning to understand what this implies. In the following photos of Africa Bambaataa, we also see him giving the same hand sign. I know, a coincidence theory, right? Another definition of Grandmaster refers to a chess player, one who has the highest level of ability.
Son, can't open your eyes. Can't you see? The shit's chess, it ain't checkers. It can't be like this. It is this way, man. I'm sorry I exposed you to it, but it is. It's ugly.
The checkerboard is a well-known Masonic symbol. It is the game of life. The black and white squares symbolize control through duality, such as left and right, black people, white people, Bloods and Crips, conservative and liberal, and so on. Now back to the first definition. Is this why MC means master of the ceremony? A master of the ceremony is responsible for conducting rituals, rites, and customs. Rituals and rites. Are we, the listeners, the spectators of some sort of ritual? The triangle is a recurring symbol throughout Freemasonry. It is the symbol of their goal, the completion of the great work, which according to available mythology began almost 6,000 years ago. AL, standing for Anno Lucius, means after Lucifer came down. Lucifer is their symbol for life, also called the morning star. By the end of this video, hopefully you will understand what Masonry's great work is. However, to understand its impact, first we must begin with culture. What is culture? In biology, culture is the growth of populations of microbes in artificial environments, which happens to be termed the culture media. In a nutshell, culture is to cultivate or grow a particular product or organism, and in this case, we are the product. culture, culture, culture. What is a cult? A cult is a sect, a section, a part. This is meant to leave us pigeonholed with tunnel vision and lead us directly to Plato's cave.
The technique that's used on the public is as old as can be, old as mankind himself. And you'll find in Plato's Republic, where he talks about the ideal world utopian society run by a dominant minority called the Guardians, that they used all of the techniques of culture creation. And culture creation is done by drama, primarily, and symbolism, paintings, architecture. It puts ideas across to people. And in drama, the onlookers actually emulate what they see. The acting societies prefer to say they reflect society. But amongst themselves, they admit they help create culture, alter culture, and direct culture. That's the job of the culture creators.
You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube. You eat like the tube. You raise your children like the tube. You even think like the tube.
And again, go back to Plato, he also talked about music. And that music was such a powerful, powerful force for directing the minds of the young.
I met this girl when I was 10 years old.
And what I love most, she has so much soul.
That song reminded me of us.
Yeah.
I remember the exact day I met Dre and fell in love with the music.
Oh, look, y'all, look what they doing over there.
And as we grew up, the music grew with us.
This technique has never been used to its full effect as it is today. It was so powerful that Plato actually talked about licensing musicians because of the effect they could have on the youth.
A lot of people, black, white, Mexican, young or old, fat or skinny, have a problem being true to themselves. They have a problem looking in the mirror and looking directly into their own soul.
It's not a case of being good and bad, good or bad blacks and whites. It's a case of being good or bad human beings. Human beings.
See, they might give you autographs all the time, but they hate you, and they don't even look at you like people. I do look at you like people. That's why I feel as though I could look you in your eye and go, yo, I don't feel like doing that right now. I don't feel like signing no autographs. And you should understand, because I'm looking at you like a human being.
And look at you. Who taught you to hate yourself? 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 Who taught you to hate yourself?
This is the square and compass of Freemasonry. It's merely the merging of two triangles going in opposite directions. You may recognize this as the Star of David. However, it is a far older symbol, and its origins predate Judaism. Note the G in the center. Many meanings have been ascribed to it. However, we will not go into those here. Mirror, mirror on the wall, what to make of it all? What then does it mean to be part of a G unit? Are you a real G? Are you a gangster, mobster, or have you modeled your persona after a unit? Can you still think for yourself as a responsible person, or are you group-minded, hence gang, mob, and unit? What I'm getting at here is that hip-hop was a Freemasonic tool from the get-go and was given to the public for control purposes and to direct the masses into furthering the completion of Freemasonry's great work.
People basically are downloaded by entertainment into the ways that they will adopt and behave.
It's like MTV, all the papers, they building me up. Now they destroying me on the same image that they perpetuated.
Music, fashion, everything goes together to create culture. Poetry, of course, was big in the 1800s. And then radio and television took over big time from them.
What you feed us as seeds grows and blows up in your face. That's thug life. The true thugs care about the whole family, the daughter, the mama, the daddy, everybody. If you're gonna be a thug for us. Don't be a thug for the hunky, you know what I'm saying? And being a Marine, the armed forces, or being jail, you know what I'm saying? Be a thug for your homies, and we can win, really. And just be for real, don't fake it. Make it for real. Not where you ain't never gonna be confused. People love to, have mercy and sympathy for everything, from the animals to the whales to fur to everything except us, your youth, the ones who you've given no attention to, who become adults with no compassion. And I feel like if you walk by a street and you was walking on concrete and you saw a rose growing out of concrete, even if it had messed up petals and it was a little, to the side, you would marvel at just seeing a rose grow through concrete. So why is it that when you see some ghetto kid grow out of all of the dirtiest circumstances, and he can talk and he can sit across from you, make you smile, make you cry, make you laugh, all you can talk about is my dirty rose, my dirty stems, and how I'm leaning crooked to the side. You can't even see that I came up out of that shit. And that's exactly the analogy that it is for me. You know what I mean? You had parents that told you this and that, and this is what went on back in the day. Now you don't have that. So we have like broken families with no father, no big brothers, and so the music becomes the big brother, and or the music becomes the father.
And children who are deprived of authority figures have an exaggerated need for it, as every tyrant in history knows.
Oh yeah, in school it's really pushed, like the whole sports.
Yeah.
The whole sports mentality is just.
Yeah, and it's all about the team mentality, and don't be an individual.
Yeah, and you see when you go, like, you see Marines and stuff, they have that Same mentality. Like that football leader type team is like the ones that you'll see going out into towns, you know, gunning people down in Iraq and stuff like that.
It's wrong, Dan. It's wrong, and it was eating me up. It was going to kill me. And I kept asking myself all the time, how did I buy into this shit, you know? And it's just because I was pissed off. And nothing I ever did ever took that feeling away. I mean, I killed 2 guys, Danny. I killed them. And it didn't make me feel any different. It just got me more lost, and I'm tired of feeling pissed off, Danny. I'm just tired of it.
I was listening today, matter of fact. I was hearing like a little slogan for this new video game, and they're like, "Yeah, we're mercenaries. We're mercenaries." I'm like, wow, man, they're just telling you, it's training you.
Yeah.
You know, be mercenary, go kill. And I remember when I had my sociology class, when I was in college, they made us go into the toy store. You know, it told us for an assignment, they said go inside the toy store and see how they shape genders and how they shape the males. You know, I went in the male section, the little boys, all like being military, combat, save people, and there's all these military soldiers going into like, and I was like, wow, man.
G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Soldier Boy in it, oh, watch you crack that, watch it, oh, watch you crack that, Soldier Boy, Superman, and watch you, and watch you, and watch you.
Who is Soldier Boy, and what in the heck is that dance?
Who's Soldier Boy?
That was a real eye-opener for me right there, man. I seen that. How they shape. It's all about being a soldier. See, it's all about perception and stuff like that. They tell you something else. And
and
they don't look at it that way, you know? And that's what I say, yeah, man, these guys are masters of perception. Man.
Oh, yeah.
They make you look at something. So, they'll sell you your own death, but they'll make it look good to you. They'll package it. And sell it to you. It's all like predetermined. Everything's everything, man. It's all chosen for you what to be. And
Now, part of what you've been discussing and part of what anyone who's involved in this business already knows, because we do get our information from certain sources, there is a blending there's a dehumanization of humans, and there is a humanization of machines.
I am a renegade. I never been afraid. Fresh and I'm getting paid. The future of this age.
It's a dialectic that is going to end up in a synthesis. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. I've got articles here right now, in fact, on that very agenda from the future society, the complete merging with humans and the robots until you can't tell which one is which anymore.
Which one is which, exactly. And they're starting that by pushing it within the music
What age
they're
group would you
pushing
say
it.
it's aimed at?
Well, I'll tell you now, Alan, 14 all the way up to your 35ers. And you know, I'm going to go a little further and say some other things. There's some other high level. The music business is completely fraternal. Okay,
Yeah.
It's completely fraternal. There is no one that has not made it somewhere that is high level, that is not involved in some way, shape, or form in a fraternal order.
Hip-hop has built its own secret society.
It's a secret society, all we ask is trust.
The entire industry is fraternal. If you want to be successful, you're either going to play your part or you're not going to be there. Period.
And do what you're told, yeah.
And do what you're told. People, if you look at Jay-Z, when he throws up what he says is the diamond or the rock symbol, and you see that it's the shape of a triangle, okay?
Yeah.
That is not a diamond symbol. That is, to the profane, as they would say, a diamond symbol.
Numero uno, innuendoes. That's the language of our Latin ancestors. On the back of $1, the plan and the message. Numero uno, innuendoes. That's the language of our Latin ancestors. On the back of $1, the plan and the message.
Because of my confidence is there, my self-esteem, my self-respect. You know, I don't need that. But in the ghetto, that's the type of shit that we're taught. You know what I mean? We taught that. My older niggas, we taught that. That the only thing we good for is our sexuality. It's like in the army, you taught to kill, so you kill.
And really, if you look at the structure that plays in sports, it's all just military strategy. It's all just military strategy.
Yep.
You know?
Wow, man. That was a real eye-opener for me right there, man. When I seen that. How they shape. It's all about being a soldier and...
To be a soldier, must maintain composure at ease. Stand in formation, my motherfucking real troopers. Let's do it like soldiers. Where my soldiers? Where my soldiers at? Where my soldiers? Where my soldiers at?
Soldier boy, I been here, ho. Why me crank it? Why me roll?
I'm supposed to be the soldier who never blows his composure.
Can we please have a moment of truth? A soldiers and troops away with helmets and boots. It's verbal books published by niggas, produced by niggas, genuine niggas. So I salute my niggas.
Just lay your head on my shoulder. Don't worry about a thing, baby girl. I'm a soldier.
Well, if you look at something like hip hop, and I mean, hip hop is so militarized.
Yeah.
I mean, the beats are military cadence beats, and you know, they're singing cadence in the background. Your left, yeah.
To the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. Everything you own.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody has on fatigue pants and dog tags. Dog tags, of all things, something that labels you as a dog.
Go, hey, we gonna get to the bottom of this shit if it takes all night.
You know, why would you even purchase something that labels you as a dog? But I mean, we were forced to wear them in the military, and they wear them voluntarily. And some people actually have pictures of them and their wife on their dog tag. But yeah, the hip hop culture is extremely militarized, and even with the people like.
I got it!
Schooler.
Yes, Sergeant.
Just one more thing.
What's that, Sergeant?
Graduate.
It's kinda sad we believe that's all that we can be. Brainwashed.
Drive me. I wanna fight for my country. Jump in a Humvee and murder those monkeys. Drive me. I'm too dedicated to fail. Justice must prevail. Justice must prevail. Drive me. I wanna fight for my country. Jump in a Humvee and murder.
The hip-hop culture is supposedly rebellious, you know. Let the young tell it, but if you really analyze it, it's really just another method of control.
Were you trying to provoke anybody to do anything particular? Were you trying to provoke or trying to get people to do things? Yes. Tell us what. Think. Use your head.
It was age without maturity, knowledge without wisdom. I mean, order turning to chaos.
It's infiltrated all standard religions. And it began years ago, where the first step was positive thinking.
The other street opportunity, the chance to live sweet, think positive. And no negative thoughts is gonna stop me. Negative thoughts.
We can achieve that by tuning out negative feedback.
They was talking all this unity shit, but then when they go home,
They be popping
Q-tips. They made all these underground tapes dissing us. Q-tips? Yes, Q-tips. So then when niggas ride back, then they want to talk about the culture and be hip-hop-ish again. But that's not fair. How you gonna be bold? And that's what they all do. They all play badasses.
And they'll tell you to don't dwell on the negative. Don't dwell on the negative because everything's an illusion anyway.
You're in a universe and 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 only equals 4 if you accept that 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 is going to be what I want it to be.
Freedom is the freedom to say 2 + 2 = 4. If that is granted, all else follows.
And it doesn't do any good to dwell upon the negative. So when anyone in company tries to speak up and say, hey, we're heading towards hell, they'll turn away en masse because they've been trained to look at the positive side of things and not to listen to negative.
As soon as you say it, now you just made that real. People ask me about racism in Hollywood. Why would I acknowledge racism?
If I want greater wealth, I just have to see it coming into my life.
When someone says the rich gets richer, visualize wealth and put yourself in the picture. You cannot be rich and continue to produce raw hip-hop. Visualize wealth and put yourself in the picture.
It was very important for them to bring this particular type of reasoning in, because we're going through an age, you see, where we're going to see our fellow man suffer. And if we want people helping each other,
Association breeds similarity. That's why I'm a slave with real rich niggas. Till 6 niggas carry me. Poverty's a mind state. Poverty's a mind state. Poverty's a mind state. Poverty's a mind state.
When it comes to creating wealth, wealth is a mindset.
To understand anything going on today, you really have to understand there are secret societies, there are ancient secret societies that have been around literally for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
My society is secret, sort of like the play.
And the only reason for your anger, your resentment, your rage is really very simple. You're furious because we thought of it first while you were trying to become men. We decided to become gods.
They're all chosen, every one of them, from Brad Pitt to Flavor Flav.
Brad Pitt is related to Barack Obama.
They're all chosen. Like, nobody just works really hard at a comedy club and just makes it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get chosen. All of them.
Yeah, you got to be willing to put that dress on and act like a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like, when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, why all these brothers got to wear a dress?
Yeah, I see that. A lot of movies, man, I've been seeing, like, you see it, man, like, oh, it's always like some, okay, like a gay couple.
You ever made love to a man? No. You want to?
Or even, it's always some, like, gender crossing thing. Like I remember a movie, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Could you make me a woman?
Man dressing like a woman. That's like that's the norm, man. You see that. They're always dressing like women. Even in comedy skits.
I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And you put this dress on, and what? As a prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave, listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then, like, the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So,
one comedy skit, it was called Kids of the Hall. It was a show.
Oh,
and it's always, they're all dressed like women throughout the whole thing.
Well, remember they had the counterpart to Mrs. Doubtfire for the black people was
Big Mama.
Big Mama's House.
The mother of all comedies. There's a new sheriff in town. Is back in the house.
Big Mama. Ving Rhames, Ving Rhames came to stardom. He's been in movies, like 2 or 3 movies, but his stardom came with Pulp Fiction when he got fucked in the ass in Pulp Fiction. Then he later on did another movie recently with Alfred Woodard where he's a big time drag queen. You see what I'm saying?
Then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses?
Dennis Rodman had to do it, and there's even a whole scene in one of Eddie Griffin's movies where they tried to get him to put it on, and he was going to, and they did the scene in the office where they're like, you could be in Hollywood, you can make it, you just got to put this on. And he's like, nah, I'm not feeling that. Nah.
Just about everybody, I mean, Wesley Snipes had to go do the gay movie. To Wong Fu. You see what I'm saying? Had to go do the gay movie.
Stuff like a girl, man.
Chris Tucker. Yep, Chris Tucker had to wear the dress in Fifth Element, his second movie. Had to wear the dress in Fifth Element. What's the name put on the dress? He finally made it to the dress in Wild Wild West. Will Smith.
When I did watch like cartoons and all the TV shows, you'll always see a scene where it's like something with a man wearing a woman's clothing or some type of homosexual. It's just homosexual, like trying to.
Well, look at Bugs Bunny, man.
Yeah.
Look at Bugs Bunny.
Oh yeah, you see him dressed, put lipstick. I used to see that all the time. And they put that in all the Disney movies. You see some gay,
oh my goodness,
you know, dressed like a woman, you know, a man dressing like a woman. It's crazy.
The minute it was clear, I was adamant. I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later. The whole new scene. Hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast? You know, it's like, so you got to take a stand.
Everything you've taken for granted, from the jingles on television to the whole concept that change is good, to the blurring of all sexual distinctions and subcategories, and that there's new categories coming out all the time, and there's new ones to come out yet as they go through genetic alterations and tampering.
with the transhumanist agenda.
In order to complete the task, an election process is now underway where all parties are demanding change. So everybody in the U.S. is now out demanding and calling for change without understanding what is meant by this particular change they're calling for.
I think that everything today on this earth is being modernized.
So we've watched ourselves being dehumanized. We've watched what was normal for a previous century being turned upside down through science. We've watched them tinkering with genetics to create the better types, the superior types that they come on down the road. And you will see the creation of different types, including the new worker bee, which will be neither really male nor female.
He's a centaur like me.
You wish.
I am Hermaphrodite, most beautiful of centaurs. Gaze upon me and weep at my loveliness.
The hermaphrodite, the ancient symbol down through the ages of the mysteries.
And now we return to the compass and square of Freemasonry. The triangle facing up is the male, and the triangle facing down is the female. When the two are joined, you have the symbol of the new man, the hermaphrodite. The great work of Freemasonry is to synthesize the male and female, creating a hermaphrodite, the perfect slave. Now this will be done through genetic engineering. As the old man is destroyed, the new man will take his place. To ensure complete elimination, the old man will be numbered and chipped as the new man is introduced into society.
Isn't it interesting, though, Alan, that people will go to horror movies, they'll go to sci-fi movies, they want to be scared by what they consider, fantasy.
Yeah.
But then when you take a look deeply, that much of what we've considered science fiction and fantasy is in fact true. And then when people realize that, now we get a different situation.
In the late 1800s, the Rothschilds created a foundation in England to encourage authors to write about certain topics which the Rothschilds defined. They were trying to start off science fiction writers.
Mm-hmm.
And of course Tavistock later gave the term to this process, where you read novels, now it's watching movies, but then it was novels aimed at the young, to make those young people excited about this imaginative future. And Tavistock calls it predictive programming.
Programming, there you go.
So that's what all fiction really has been for, from then on at least, and maybe even before. But this process is well understood. It's when you're getting a lecture on something, you have a little sensor there that picks out certain things you won't believe or disagree with. But when it comes to fiction, that sensor part is down. And so you're wide open, you're being downloaded with possibility thinking, as they call it. And so something that would sound nuts if you were not brainwashed with this kind of material actually starts to sound quite natural. So we think we're evolving along a natural path.
Smaller than a grain of rice. That's where mine went in. It's an ID that can't be lost or forged or stolen. Its content and function can be adapted to suit my needs. It can be my credit card, it can be my door key, my car keys. I'll never lose them again. Eventually, it'll become universal. Starting at school age, a tag for life.
Yeah, ever since I know you've been out to get
acting like my peeps, but I know that's how you trick me. Love to see me get high, love to see me tipsy. Heard you even wanna stick a bill chipping me.
They're called RFID chips for radio frequency identification. In the future, chips could be tracking your every move in passports and visas as you pass through time zones. One company is even pushing human ID implants, all made possible by RFID.
But some people still can't understand why. I'm a microchip for the whole lot. You know that, but I was a robot. That's all right.
It's interesting, even the chip comes from the term a chip off the old block. Now that's a Masonic term, because the block, of course, was the old altar they used to walk around, and that's a common Masonic greeting. You know, I've been around the block a few times. And the son of a Mason is called the chip off the old block, which is also the Mason himself, the ashlar, perfectly squared Mason.
Get ready for this new world order. Shit is about to change, motherfucker. We living in the last, my theory is fuck it. Sexy niggas get abducted, my corrupted.
Giuliani's part of Illuminati. A million minds in one body, designed to decline society. They want at least 1.2 billion deceased, while the rest is left with the mark of the beast on a dome piece.
I think my mother knew that freedom wouldn't come in her lifetime, just like I know that it won't come in mine. But it's a matter of either we stay like this or somebody sacrifices, somebody lay a track so we don't stay in a 360-degree deadly circle. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to break out and risk, you know, losing everything and being poor and getting beat down. But somebody has to do something.
The only way anything is going to change is once we stop waiting on these leaders, we start reclaiming our communities, our families from the damn TV, from the school system, you know, and from this evil culture, man. We got to start buying out of this, and we got to start forming our own communities.
The only way I think we can combat this thing is not going to beat it head on. Only thing to combat it is just, like I said, and I've said it before, like, you gotta retain that humanity, man. You gotta retain that memory, man. That, you know, because that's why they attack children, the young, because they want to eradicate anything, any remnants of what freedom was, or because we at least that's what makes America different from every other country. We have a memory of that, you know.
The only way we're gonna be able to not sell our soul is by having some faith in each other, you know what I'm saying? Because pretty soon we're going to have to start buying out of this system, because the wages are getting lower and lower, okay? The jobs are disappearing. You're going to have to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, okay? You're going to be, if you think you're a slave now, just wait 10 years down the line. Okay. The only jobs that are going to be available are going to be in Homeland Security, the fucking Army, FBI, or CIA. Okay. And if we don't start, like I say, having some faith in each other, start forming our own self-sustainable communities, then it's going to be game over for all of us, because the only way we're going to be able to work is by having a brain chip in our head. Okay? And that's coming real soon.
Yeah.
They are on a roll, and have had world meetings about this, the science meetings, about chipping the brains of people ultimately. You've probably seen the write-ups by the Professor Warwick in England.
Within a decade, we will have the ability to have a chip that you can implant in your brain. So, should we say no? We don't want that. We want to stay as we are, as humans. We don't want to go anymore. That's not something humans have done in the past. Humans have gone along with progress.
Well, at Loyola University in Louisiana, they had a World Science meeting paid for by the United States Department of Commerce. And the professor from Japan said, we're ready to implant this in everyone on the planet. And he said, but when this is put into the people, there shall be no more individuality as we know it. It will be impossible for a person to even try and think of themselves as an individual. And so he said this will be pushed through cartoons, through novels, through movies. Now, he didn't say we'd like it to be pushed. He says this will be pushed.
Sometime in the next century, because computer chips are getting smaller and faster, and eventually the time will come when a child is implanted with a little chip back here. You believe that you're going to be actually able to tell your mind through a chip to provide you with information that you can then speak. So on this program, this would be great for me. You put a little chip in there, and if I didn't know something, I could say would I have to say it out loud or just think it? Either way.
And at this science meeting, they didn't discuss politics once because the boys at that level don't work for politicians. They work for the real world government. That's another clue.
Yeah. So the goal is to...
It's ready to go. Regional computers will literally direct all of the chips that are out there. And they claim that they already have the regional computers set up.
And then I looked up. Cell phone towers. Major power transmission network. There's one on every block. They can control the whole city.
And they said it's no longer you. Individuality will disappear, and it will be more like the hive.
One who is too curious in observing the labor of bees will often be stung for his curiosity. So stand back, because the queen bee's about to sting.
And that the beehive has, for thousands of years, has been the high occultic symbol, the perfect system. He said you'll hear people's whispers of their thoughts going through your mind back to the central computers, and from the computers back to the people, a constant buzz in your head of thoughts. He says, but it will be impossible for a person to even begin to think of themselves as a distinct, separate entity.
What we have here is an experiment. My eyes. It's called a $6 million man.
He looks good in S1. Roger. BCS arm switch is on. Okay, Victor. Landing rocket arm switch is on. Here comes the throttle. Circuit breakers in.
Steve Austin, astronaut. A man barely alive.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. We have the capability to make the world's first bionic man.
He has the speed of a cheetah, the sight of a falcon, strength of 100 gorillas. Welcome to the new world. We're gonna give you a name.
What is he talking about?
What shall we call him? Let's come together with one mind. What should we call him? We should call him the Electric Man. Electric Man. Electric Man. Electric Man.
Now, part of what you've been discussing and part of what anyone who's involved in this business already knows, because we do get our information from certain sources, there is a blending there's a dehumanization of humans, and there is a humanization of machines.
Where's the giant?
We must stop it at all costs. Go to Code Red. Repeat, Code Red.
We've got to help. Oh, God, no! Let's get out of here!
Hey, stop! There's a kid in his head.
You can't protect him, Albert.
Actually, there's a dehumanization of humans, and there is a humanization of machines.
In a distant future, in an age of intelligent machines, he is the first robotic child programmed to love and coexist as a member of a family. His is a tale of humanity and a journey to find his place among humans and machines.
I'm a boy.
You are a real boy.
Actually, there's a dehumanization of humans, and there is a humanization of machines. It's a dialectic that is going to end up in a synthesis. Okay?
Oh, no, absolutely. I've got articles here right now, in fact, on that very agenda from the future society, the complete merging with humans and robots until you can't tell which one is which anymore.
Which one is which, exactly. And they're starting that by visually, by pushing it within the music.
What age group would you say it's aimed at?
Well, I'll tell you now, Alan, 14s all the way up to your 35ers. People don't even see the fact that you have this robot talking to you, expressing feelings, having emotions, and people just sit there like, oh, this is so nice, look at the special effects, and don't even realize they're being predictably programmed. Now, within the music, you have an individual, and I'm saying names here because I know what it is, and I have no problem saying this stuff. There's a gentleman there by the name of T-Pain. He uses a voice box called Auto-Tune, and it takes his voice, and it moves it to give it some sort of synthesized sound, which actually takes a human voice and makes it sound more robotic. Where on the other side, as I said, in the movies, you can see the robots are becoming more humanized.
You already know what it is, man. They won't let me out. They won't let me out. I'm locked up. They won't let me out. No, they won't let me out.
You're perfect now.
My neck. My neck. Perfect? Oh, bang on my chest if you think I'm perfect. Go ahead, bang on it. Beautiful. What a nickel. It's empty. The tinsmith forgot to give me a heart.
Is this your answer to kill us?
Oh, no, nothing like that. We help you. We perfect you.
By turning us into robots? Is this your answer to kill us?
Oh, no, nothing like that. We help you. We perfect you.
By turning us into robots, does any fraction of these women still exist?
Of course. Almost everything. Show her.
Show me what?
It's a promotional thing I've been working on for when we go global.